I've been in real estate for the last 25 years. Approximately the first 4 years, solid core real estate brokerage. Started investing 21 years ago. Okay? Now, what I've observed in the last 25 years has been the interest rate in this country for all of these years has been anywhere between 7.5 to 9.5% average borrowing rates. Now, you see on the screen there, I've said there has never been a bigger arbitrage in the last 25 years. Interest rates have never been lower. Yields are holding steady. That's my observation for the time being. For those of you who have spent time in the property market, you have been in business long enough, you would also know that if you have borrowed money to do business or you've borrowed money for your property, during the Asian financial crisis, many of us, I remember one of our speakers saying he paid 13-14% interest. Let me tell you, we were paying 23% interest. And we were not paying, not 23% interest on 1 or 2 million. We were paying 23% interest on $200 over million of borrowings during the Asian financial crisis. We got through that. So, for people like us who have gone through things like that and to today find that your borrowing rates are so low, let's look at borrowing rates. Today, traditionally, if you go back in time, the last 10, 20 years, you will notice that your base lending rate has for most of the years been approximately 7%. For most of these years, when banks lend you money, it has always been base plus something. It was only in the last couple of probably 5, 6, 7 years that the residential started with base minus something. And the beautiful thing is that the last 1 or 2 years, I noticed even for commercial and industrial loans, it has now gone to base minus 1.5, 2.0, 2.3. And what is even more exciting is not just commercial and industrial loans. That has also extended to big corporate purchases. Among other things that we did recently was we borrowed some money and we used to pay base plus 1.25, base plus 1.5. And if you go back 6-9 months ago, your base lending rate was in the region of about 6.5 to 7%. So you were paying 8.25 to 8.5. Today, your base lending rate has came to around about 5.5. You minus 1.5 to 2 point something away, you are now paying in the region as low potentially as 3.2. So the gap between what you used to pay and what you potentially can pay today if you redo your loan is fantastic. So that's why we say there has never been a bigger arbitrage in the last 25 years. I quote 25 years because I've been in a business for 25 years. So I don't know what happened 30 years ago. But I think 25 years is good enough a guideline. And I can say that it is like what they say, what's the phrase that they use? It'll come to me later. Yeah, the Aussies say it's a no-brainer business. When you can do deals, traditionally when we invest in property in Malaysia, you get something like about 7-8%. That's quite normal. So if you are getting 7-8% and you are borrowing at only 3 point something to 4%, it's a no-brainer. On top of that, most of you would have came up with 20 to 30% of capital. So when you put that whole equation in together, your cash flow is fantastic. I can tell you that because I'm going through that at the very moment. And for many of you, you may have also received letters from banks the last 7 to 14 days, where central bank has given out instructions to banks that if you do have a loan, what central bank wants the banks to do is bring down your principal payment, keep the tenure of the loan to what it was. And from a little bit of the analysis that I did, I noticed that for every 10,000 ringgit of installment, you would probably shave off 1,000 ringgit of principal because of this reorganizing. So in terms of cash flow, it's fantastic. That's why I say we are living in exciting times today. Therefore, get ready to get rich. Seriously, get ready to get rich. I can tell you, I've bought a lot of properties. I'll tell you a little bit afterwards, but I've bought a lot of properties, and I still own a lot of properties which I bought in the last 25 years. Some of the best deals were during the, I wouldn't say Asian financial crisis, but post-Asian financial crisis. Because during the Asian financial crisis, you can't even borrow money. We went through the same thing the Americans and the Europeans are going through now. So during the Asian financial crisis, you can't borrow money. But when I look back today, a lot of the fantastic deals that I have, which is returning me, say, 30% and above in terms of yield, they are all slightly post-Asian financial crisis. That means 1999. Okay, 1999, year 2000. So a little bit past the bad time, when banks start lending again, and you'll pick up a lot of deals. Now, so for those of you who understand residential a lot, please bear with me. Hopefully you are interested to learn a little bit more about your opportunities when it comes to commercial and industrial real estate. So, industrials. Now, in the past 25 years, I've actually bought 37. Bought is one thing. Everybody knows how to buy. The very important thing is you must learn how to sell. Okay? A lot of people buy. Buying, you go out, you know, you get, you get sweet talked by a pretty real estate agent, you will end up with a property. Okay? Not a very, very difficult task. But the important thing is flip it. You must learn how to flip a deal. So I've done 37. I just counted recently. I've done 37 in the last 20 years or so since I started investing. 90% of these are actually industrial and commercial. So that's why the talk that I'm going to skew to you is all skewed towards industrial commercial.